In the early days of the world, when humanity was still young and the earth had barely felt the footsteps of man, Adam and Eve began life outside the Garden of Eden. Though they had lost paradise, God had not abandoned them. He gave them life, purpose, and children. Their first son was named Cain, and later they welcomed another son, Abel. As the boys grew, their paths began to differ. Cain became a farmer, working the soil with his hands, planting seeds and waiting patiently for the ground to produce crops. Abel became a shepherd, caring for flocks, guiding them, protecting them, and offering his strength for their safety. Both occupations were honorable. Both were forms of provision, and both were opportunities to serve God. In time, the moment came for the brothers to bring offerings before the Lord. Cain gathered produce from the land fruits of his labor and presented them to God. Abel, however, brought the best portions from the firstborn of his flock. Abel's offering was not just an act of duty. It was an act of faith and reverence. He gave with a sincere heart, honoring God above all else. God looked upon Abel's offering with favor, but Cain's offering was not accepted in the same way. This moment changed everything. Cain became deeply troubled. His joy turned to bitterness. His confidence turned into anger. Instead of examining his heart, he began to compare himself to his brother. Instead of correcting his attitude, he allowed resentment to grow. God, in his mercy, spoke to Cain. He warned him gently, but firmly. "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not, sin is waiting at the door. It desires to control you, but you must rule over it." This was a moment of choice. Cain could have humbled himself. He could have changed his heart. He could have learned from his brother. But instead, Cain chose silence over repentance, jealousy over obedience, and pride over truth. One day, Cain spoke to Abel and led him into the field. There, away from witnesses, Cain allowed his anger to take full control, and in a tragic act that would echo through history, Cain turned against his own brother. Abel, innocent, faithful, and unsuspecting, lost his life at the hands of the very person who should have protected him. It was the first act of violence among humanity, the first time jealousy led to destruction, the first time blood cried out from the ground. God came to Cain again and asked, "Where is your brother Abel?" Cain replied with a cold and careless heart, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" But nothing is hidden from God. God declared that Abel's blood cried out from the earth, bearing witness against Cain. Because of what he had done, Cain was cursed from the ground he once worked. The soil would no longer respond to him. He would live as a restless wanderer, carrying the weight of his actions wherever he went. Cain feared that others would harm him, but even then, God showed mercy. He placed a mark on Cain not to reward him, but to protect him, ensuring that vengeance would not multiply sin upon sin. Cain left the presence of the Lord and wandered the earth, carrying regret, loss, and the consequences of unchecked anger. Abel's life was short, but his faith spoke loudly. Cain lived long, but his choices became a warning. The story of Cain and Abel is not just about two brothers. It is about the condition of the human heart. It teaches us that God values the heart behind the offering, not just the action. That jealousy, when ignored, grows into destruction. That anger, when unchecked, leads to irreversible consequences. That we are, indeed, our brother's keeper. That sin begins quietly, but its impact is loud and lasting. Most importantly, it reminds us that every person faces a choice to rule over sin or to be ruled by it. This story is not just history, it is a mirror. Ask yourself today, what is growing in your heart? Is it faith, humility, and obedience? Or jealousy, anger, and silence? Do not wait until sin gains strength at the door. Choose righteousness while there is still time. Choose forgiveness before bitterness takes root. Choose obedience before regret writes your story. If this message has spoken to you, pause and reflect. Release every hidden resentment. Lay down comparison. Ask God to cleanse your heart and renew your spirit. Like this message, if you choose humility over pride, share it with someone who needs a reminder that the heart matters to God. Come and I choose what is right as a declaration today. Subscribe. Follow for more powerful Bible stories that awaken faith and transform lives. Be your brother's keeper. Master sin do, not let it master you. and let your life be an offering that truly honors God.